Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and sex, that's a topic we love talking about on this channel. And something that I wanted to talk about today is going deeper into sex, going deep within you. You know, that place where you feel like you're connected, you feel you're finding that vulnerability, and you feel like there's something alchemical going on between you and this person. Sex is such a highly charged experience that you can feel so many things, you can process so many parts of your subconscious that you may not be able to reach in some ways. That's this topic that we're gonna cover today. Y'all, if this is your first time seeing this video, you may notice that I have this crazy lip thing going on. That's because I got a lip injection a few days ago, so I'm just waiting for it to kind of calm down. So excuse me for having big lips. But yeah, big lips to suck on some things, you know what I mean? Gosh, you're gonna make me blush a little bit. Or maybe I'm making you blush? I don't know. So going deeper into sex, this is something important for everyone, I think, to think about, because especially in this culture and day and age, there's not a lot of celebration around the depth of sex. It's more along the superficial lines of hooking up and having an experience with someone who looks good. At least in Berlin, sex is so available that people just want to kind of float around and have sex with as many people as they possibly can, or just sex is so undervalued that you have sex and someone may never call you back just because they're like, well, I can have sex with anyone. So for me, as a monogamous person that has wanted to actually build a connection and to go deeper with someone, it's been difficult because of a long list of requirements or expectations that I have around a partner and things that I want. More recently, though, I have met someone who I would almost call my boyfriend. I find them to be quite an amazing and fantastic person that I love to have sex with. And this has given me an opportunity to go deeper into my experience of sex with this person. So I wanted to talk about depth of sex, going deeper with someone, and also the personal transformation that can happen by doing this. I am not a sex therapist, but some people have said that I am and suggested that I become one. So we'll see if that'll happen. But for now, let's talk about personal alchemy and diving deeper into sex. It's a pretty magical thing. So let's dive in, shall we? Also, if you have some tea, this is a great time to set the kettle and to drink along with me as we go into this topic. We do deep dives on this channel. That's what we do. So let's talk about the evolution of my sexual experience. And I think this is for trans people especially to think about as you transition and how you experience yourself with sex, how that affects your perception. And then for cis people, if you're watching, this is also going to help you understand a bit about what's going on with a partner who may be receiving, or if you are giving or receiving, there's this, vulnerability involved. Let's get into that. So my evolution of sexual experience as a trans woman, and I don't identify as a trans woman just period, I identify as a being, but if you're gonna label me, I'm a trans woman. And sex has been this kind of playing out of, my sex narrative has been a playing out of finding pleasure, but also processing shame. There's a lot of shame around trans bodies, and I think around women's bodies in general, where you may feel like you don't measure up to a certain level, and you look at your body and you judge it and you feel guilty for what you have. I know that I felt sort of a level of disgust around my body because I think, okay, well, this is a man's frame in a woman's body. People are going to see it this way, or maybe I even kind of like a little bit of that in the kinky relationship part. I have to admit that it's a little hot to think of being a boy becoming a girl, and that kind of interplay of sex and gender and transition is hot. I find that hot. But I think that aspect of my transition in being kind of boy to girl, boy girl experience made sex and my genitals a part of my perception and also a part of my experience. Even if I'm having sex with a man, I may catch myself saying, okay, well, I'm a trans woman, or I have this body part that is not a cis woman, and so therefore I am a trans woman having sex. But with my most recent partner, who has processed perception and seeing a trans woman truly as a woman, I've never felt more vulnerable and more capable of being seen as a woman. Like, if you're a trans woman, isn't that something that you want? You want to really just be seen as a woman in life and in the bedroom. And I've never had someone been able to kind of allow me to find that opening up. When he's on top of me and we are naked and I'm looking up at him, I feel completely safe to let go and to allow his big, beautiful body to just be on top of me and to open up my heart and just give to him my feminine space and what I have to share, not in a way of shame, but also like saying, I have had this shame. I do feel this shame, and I'm going to be vulnerable with you in expressing my body as it is, and also as I fear it to be seen. I don't know if that makes sense. But this is kind of the thing that I think a lot of people are missing. And I notice this with kinky people in particular. There's a vulnerability that they can't seem to arrive at. And I think that the reason why is because they're missing their connection with their heart, and they don't know how to access it, and they don't know how to share that. I think that, and this is just an opinion, and I haven't had enough sex with enough people to really say this is, I don't know if I'll ever have enough sex with enough people to say this mathematically speaking, but I've spent several years in the kink world as well as the non-kink world. I've dated over 100 men, and some of them have come into my bedroom, not all of them, most of them not. But I've noticed that with kinky individuals, their heart isn't open, and that their interest in kink, I would theorize, is partially related to the fact that they find emotions and deeper emotional vulnerability and connection inaccessible through vanilla and plain means of engaging in sexual activity. And so by forcing certain aspects of your experience into more extreme positions, they can find some of that vulnerability. And actually, in my sexual experience, this guy is the most vanilla, but I've been able to find the most vulnerability. So when you're thinking about going deeper and finding that inner transformation, I think you really need to be looking at your heart. Your heart is the area where you find the most presence. It's the area where you find the most emotional sharing and vulnerability. And by allowing yourself to kind of get out of your mind and to step into this space here, you can let go of your thoughts, of the things that are blocking you. Do you ever feel like you're just thinking when you're having sex about how you're being perceived or how you're being experienced? Or if you're sounding right? Like, I know sometimes I get caught on, do I sound right as a woman? Do I sound like a woman in a way that's desirable? Is my copulation correct? And that you can get lost in your head around that. And I think that takes away from your presence, and that takes away from that connection, the electricity that you have in that moment. Sex definitely makes you more present, but the way that you amplify that and the way that you create this deeper connection is to lose the mind, to get into your heart and to find that connection heart to heart. The thing that I didn't really get to discover until with this partner is that it really takes effort from both sides to make this connection happen. Now that sounds obvious, but the previous guy that I was dating had a very closed heart, but he had a lot of physical prowess, a great body. He was very confident. I was attracted to his personality and how he looked, but it just wasn't connecting because he did not let me in. He did not provide the bridge through the heart to say, hey, let's meet here on these levels. And he was super kinky. And now with this non-kinky person, he allows me to extend my heart, my connection with him, and he is receptive to that and gives gives back, even though he's German and, you know, being German is non-emotional. He told me, emotions, we don't deal with those here. But hey, he's still able to connect with the heart because he has that security within himself. So if you are having sexual relations where you feel like even when you're trying to have a deeper connection, it's not always your fault. It's not always the fact that you can't connect through the heart. It's that they can't connect with the heart. They haven't done the processing of themselves. And that's a good enough reason that I've found to actually ditch someone that you may physically be attracted to, but just isn't letting you in. It's not necessarily your fault. And I think the previous guy I was dating didn't fully process and accept that I was a woman. He saw me as a trans woman. And while cognitively he would say, yes, I accept trans women and I will have sex with them because I see them as women, he did not on the deepest level enable that trust, probably on his own issues, to say, I am a woman worth connecting with, I'm a woman worth seeing value in and loving in this way. So see next time when you have sex, if you can let go of your mind a little bit and find a space within your heart where you can feel like the hand of your heart opening up and sharing and kind of reaching out to find that connection, that hand holding with the other heart. That's actually a kind of cool meditation to think of, opening up the palm and allowing it to reach out and connecting with the other individual and feeling that transaction once that's happened. Now, when you're in the thick of things, it may be a little bit more difficult, but see what you can do to just say, mind, you can go, let me just be present with you and connect with you heart to heart and see where things go. If you like this kind of video, please like it and subscribe. Write your comments down below. Let me know how things are going. And if you'd like to support me, you can support me on Patreon. If you are trans and transitioning, I have a book and I also have a meditation series. Girl, I got it all going on. And yeah, I would love to see you in another video and I'll see you next time. Bye.